Hello and welcome to Arm with Controllers. It's Fabs here, and today I am going to be playing Rival Schools United by Fate, a Capcom classic of the fighting game genre. Now I'm going to be using the inimitable Akira, who is a motorcyclist, and I'm going to have her helped out by Shoma, the batsman, I guess. Baseball being a big thing in Japan, which means the World Series actually does kind of apply. Anyway, so who am I up against first? Gan and Daigo. Well, this is going to be a meaningful match because Akira here is looking for her sibling Daigo who went missing as per the plotline. So yeah, one stage in, her plot's already resolved. Excellent! Okay, so what can one say about Rival Schools United by Fate? Well, it's quite an interesting Wii fighter in that, as you see, I picked two characters and well, you start out with the first person you're using, in this case it's Akira, and you can summon them for help via special moves. Not so much like in Marvel vs. Capcom, say. That's it. So, in between rounds, though, you can change to your other fighter. I'd like to do it so that I only change when my first fighter gets beat. Kind of like an actual street fight. And so yeah, this is this team-up technique thing. This is where your other partner comes into play during a fight. Each person has their own different technique for when they're not in play. Most of the time they're combat attacks and whatnot. You get some that increase your health, others increase your super bar there, which is pretty cool. So there's a bit of strategy as well in picking a partner that complements your particular fighting style. Okay, first round to me. Get in. Okay, so. Yep, Anarchy. Not the political standpoint, but the Japanese term for Big Brother. There you go, you've learned something today. Now, Batsu and Hinata. Batsu is ostensibly the main character of this game. If you ever see a Rival Schools representative in another Capcom crossover game or whatever, it will be Batsu. He's fairly standard Street Fighter-esque character really, so not much to say here. Hinata, she's well, she seems to be a Sakura XP, as in Sakura for Street Fighter, which makes no sense because Sakura is a playable character in this. So I don't know. I mean, they did at least say they're friends, and here we go, this is fun. Bang! Batter up! And he just screamed, latrine! He's a toilet man, evidently. Okay. So this is a phew. So yeah, the nice thing about the team-up techniques I find is that they're very good as punishers. If you activate them in the midst of an opponent's move, 9 times out of 10 they'll hit, you'll be okay, and you'll get a good chunk of damage out at them. So it's actually quite a defensive game, this, in that regard. You can't afford to be too aggressive, I should say, outside of juggles, without keeping a good eye on what your opponent's super bar's like, because there's a good chance you could end up completely getting screwed over. So there you go. One other thing about the fighting system in this game is that it makes use of what they call staple combos, or simple combos, or whatever, which is simply 2 weak strikes, hard strike, then a launcher, at which point you can then jump up and follow up in the air. Fairly standard. I think there's a similar thing in the dust moves of Guilty Gear, for example. So there we go. Okay, and I'm fighting Akira, which only this time she's without her helmet, so that's another spoiler. Good job, arcade mode, you really make me want to see the ending of this. Oh well, so I'm fighting a volleyball player now. Yay! So, yeah, the plotline of this game is, typically Japanese and insane. For some reason or other, gifted high school students are disappearing all over Japan. Various people are investigating it. Akira here is investigating it because her brother was trying to figure out, him being a respected gang leader. And, yeah, so she wants to find him. Now, you just saw there was the without helmet Akira team-up attack. which is a bit like a rider kick, for those of you in the know. That is the only real difference between the two, the team-up attack, because Akira's team-up attack is basically she gets a hold of the opponent. Well, you get a hold of the opponent and she comes and punches them while they're prone. It's a sort of a gang-up mate rates attack kind of deal. Okay, and now we've broken the space-time continuum to feature this bit of same girl-on-girl action. I won't pretend to understand it anyway. So yes, this game really revels in its many different stereotypical depictions of. You've got the baseball player there, you've got volleyball. There's even a Brazilian footballer named Roberto. I'm not playing as him because, well, I'm not Brazilian, I'm not a footballer, and come on, like a chick. Yeah. So yeah, it's not just students that are involved in this as well. You do get teachers to beat up, which is pretty cool. I think the school nurse is involved as well. So it's, typically insane. Yeah, fairly standard, really. Okay, so who next? Who is up in chapter 4? It's Shoma and Hayato. So basically, you'll finally get to see what Shoma fights like, because I haven't needed to use him yet. Anyway, so Hayato. He's a PE teacher. He wields a sword like everyone's PE teachers did, I'm sure. There we go, finally a hit. That's pretty cool, eh? It is. So yeah, Hayato's a pretty cool guy. One thing about this game is that when it was released on the PlayStation, it came in 2 discs. There's the basic arcade one, which is what I'm playing now. Just the arcade mode, you've got a training mode, no bells and whistles. And then the Evolution disc, which featured a small tutorial mode, some mini games and whatnot, a similar version of the arcade mode, and also something that for some reason they decided to take out when they released it in the West, a story mode style deal, where you create a character using the different moves of the various already made characters. You build up their stats and whatnot, you make friendships. It's really quite interesting, but of course they decided, no, let's not have this in the West. Instead, what we got in our version of the Evolution disc are a bunch of pre-made versions of the edit characters. So I suppose that's their attempt at a sorry, but it still makes no sense. Anyway, so as you can see, Shoma's moveset is indeed based around baseball. I know, I'm as surprised as you are, but there we go. So, bang, home run, and he'll throw balls at you. Lots and lots of balls. So, in fact, yeah, there's that. Ooh. Now, see, of course, because they're soft balls, I expect. I'm not sure. I must admit, my knowledge of baseball is fuzzy. So, I don't know the exact difference between a softball and a baseball. But, yeah, either way, it stings. Okay, so now a lot of Shoma's moveset, I find at least, you do want to rely on juggling, which makes sense considering he's got such a massive range with that bat. So there we go. And plus, throwing the balls as well, he's an excellent turtle in that regard. Here we go, here's Akira's team-up technique. So yeah, he's an excellent turtle because his balls tend to go quite far, well, of course, and they do quite a bit of damage as well. See, I keep talking about his balls. It's anyone just coming in is going to think really weird things about this. Oh well. Okay, another one down. Get in. Chapter 5. Who's next on this magical mystery tour of people? Okay, Tiffany and Kyoko. So, Kyoko is the aforementioned school nurse. Hello, nurse, indeed. I don't know about you, but when I was at school, the school nurse was never like this. I never needed to go to school nurse because I tend to stay indoors away from human contact, so I didn't really get into fights and whatnot. So maybe that's why I don't know what a school nurse should look like. Either way, yes, this is a Japanese fetish fuel version of a school nurse. As you can tell, because of the fact she wears she's fighting in high heels. That's not a very sensible thing to do, love. Anyway, she not doing that well in the old fighting though, is she? Then again, I am a crazy street biker person. They tend to be quite deadly. Okay, here we are. And it's Tiffany, who is representative of everything the Japanese think Americans are like. See, yeah, she has a tendency to sprinkle her phrases with random English. And it always sounds terrible. You know, exoranto, exciting, super. No, just no, Japan. Americans don't speak like that. But the thing is, if you watch anything Japanese that features an American, 9 times out of 10, yes, they'll be hyper. They'll shout, exciting, other, random bits of broken English at all opportunities. Here we go. Wonderful, beautiful, exciting. Really, Japan, really. Oh, God. And I got beaten by this bizarrely peppy individual. What the Christ is she wearing? I know it's meant to be a wrestling singlet, but it looks like it's not keeping her top half in order, you know? Oh, well. Oh, good God, this woman's insane. So, yeah, Japan, they think America's best described as Eagle Land. Covered, they're always wearing the stars and stripes, always speaking in broken English phrases. I don't get it either. There we go. Beating her up with that most American of pastimes. Now see, it's weird that she's saying ikimasu and not let's go. No, I'm thinking too much about this. Doesn't matter because she's gone now. She's dead to me. And that's the important thing. Okay, chapter 6. We're getting closer and closer to the end. Roy and Hideo. So it looks like I'm fighting the maths teacher now, who wears boxing gloves. I mean, I don't know. When I was at school, yeah, there was always that one teacher who thought, yeah, he could kill me. Let's see, in my case, it was an English teacher. And, this guy, he looked like Satan, shaved head and everything, which was pretty cool. And he was only a wee guy. He was only about 5'4", I think, at most. I don't know. But yeah, wee guy. And he was proficient in various martial arts and whatnot. I mean, he was an incredibly chill fellow, but at the same time, if you got on his bad side, you couldn't help but feel that you'd wake up dead the next morning. He was a cool fellow. So yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is that every school has that one guy who could break you in half, and I think this guy is their equivalent. And he's fighting with the glasses on. That's not very sensible. He could end up very blind. Never mind. Okay, let's do this. There we go. Ha! Your puny mathematics is no match for my masterful use of baseball. Oh God, now he's blinding me with science. The horror. I do want to know how these guys are capable of, firing balls of energy from their hands. I mean, I think this technically is set in a Street Fighter universe, so I suppose, yeah, he just happens to have studied the same martial art that allows one to do that. But I don't know, you're wasting your time teaching in that case. You should be going out, travelling the world, appearing in Street Fighter 4, whatever. Okay, so it's Roy, who is the other American in this game. Now, they had to edit him quite a bit from how he appeared in Japanese, because basically, yeah, he represents, again, the more unsavoury ideal in Japan of the Americans, in that he's a massive racist. So what he's doing in Japan to learn, I don't know. But yeah, he's an unfortunate characterisation, I think. And yeah, it makes sense they would get rid of that for the American release at least. Considering, yeah, they don't really want to encourage playing characters who are, shall we say, anti-American at best. Now he's a bit lighter on the old American phrases. I mean, we heard "let's go," but that's about it. Nothing about ridiculous things where he's not calling people dirty foreigners. And I somehow grabbed him in mid-air. There's some really strange hitboxes on this team-up technique, but I'm not complaining because he's gone now. Exactly. Yes, I agree, Sherma. Okay, so chapter 7, penultimate round, and who am I up against? Batsu's back, and he's been joined by the principal. Well, the headmaster, for those of us in England. I've always liked the phrase headmaster. It sounds a bit more commanding than principal to me. Then again, I'm sure Americans think that principal sounds stupid. Well, headmaster, sorry, sounds really stupid. So there we go, different strokes, etc. So let's see if Batsu's picked up any new tricks since I pummeled him back in the second stage. The answer is yes. Oh dear. Now see, here's another guy that's able to fire beams from his hands and set his hand on fire. Now, yeah, I regret not taking up any martial arts as a child now, if this is what it can do. I mean, yes, I know you don't see it in real life, but that's only because they're hiding it. The government is covering it up, and we all need to put on our tinfoil hats. So Batsu's won, annoyingly. Let's see how he does against a baseball player. Yeehaw, and so on. Now see, I've always found interesting that Japan is the only other nation, to my knowledge at least, that actively loves baseball. It's really strange. I mean, granted, yes, you know, we have the British Empire and former colonies and whatnot. Big fan of cricket instead, so there we go. And I'm going to see, right, this move. It's got to be awesome. So I'm going to keep trying this until it hits. I wasn't lying. I'm going to make it hit. I don't care if I have to redo this match just because I'm trying this. I want to see what it looks like. Okay. Perfect timing. No. Damn it. Oh, this is going to end really badly for me, isn't it? And again, he just whiffed his super move, so... Oh. Well, this is getting far too close for my liking. Far, far too close. Okay, this is better. Yay! Nothing like gang violence, eh? Japan's encouraging it. Oh dear. Alright, let's take out the headmaster. Let's show him who's boss. The students run this school, and what the Christ! Is that the Yeti? Is this school run by the Yeti? No, this makes no sense whatsoever. I'm really scared now. And this is the guy who's been kidnapping students for some reason. Yeah, no, stay away from me. Just go nowhere near. I'm sorry, how can there be a delinquency problem at this school? Is that it? Is that all that move does? Yeah, how can there be, you know, issues with this school when they have a monster in command? No, this just makes no sense whatsoever. Oh God. I mean, if that was my head teacher at school, I would never have slipped up. You know, homework always done. You know, a week beforehand. Oh well, he's dead now. Christ, that's really weird. Oh well, final boss then. Who we got? Ah, Hyo and Kyosuke. Well, Hyo, despite his bizarrely aged appearance, is actually a student. And Kyosuke is another student, yes. These guys are... This guy's one of these typical Ace-style characters, you know. Perfect at everything. Look at me, I'm so fucking marvellous, etc. I don't like characters like that. Anyway, look at him, he's dressed like it's the 70s. For that matter, what's going on in the background? We're fighting in space, for God's sake. Either that or it still is the 70s and it's a disco ball. Either way, this is just weird. And this guy claims to be cool and level-headed. Actually, he's not a bad character to play as, I'll admit. He's got some pretty interesting moves, but I just don't like him as a person. And that's reason enough not to use him, I feel. Here we go. Let's get him out of the way. Let's see how far he flies. Okay. Now for the last one. Let's do this. So yeah, Hyo here is the student body president, who is apparently the real bad guy of this game. Now, I'm not too up in what the student body entails in Japan. I know that class rep is a massive thing, it's a position of utmost importance, whatever. But I don't think it entails you dressing like a military general and attacking your fellow students with a sword. Now, yes, there was that PE teacher who used a sword earlier, but what the hell am I doing? But he was using a wooden sword, so you know it was okay. This guy's got a real sword here. What's going on, Japan? Seriously, you're letting your kids do this? I don't know. Oh, this is going to sting. He's actually really strong. I should try him sometime. Oh well. Let's see, can I do this? Come on. Apparently not. And he blocked that. And come on. Ah! Too damn close for my liking. Oh well. Show him what you got. Ooh, unintentional pun. So, bat versus sword. Which will succeed? At the moment, balls are winning. Ah yes, the ball's in, well, his court now because he's got more health. Not for much longer. Beamed him, good and proper. Ow. God, this is getting rather tense, I feel. That said, he's yes, here we go. This is vengeance for that last beatdown. Haha. There we go. That'll learn you. And thus ends arcade mode. And so we're on to the crazy ending. Yay! Now, yeah, problem is we know that happened because it was the first stage. Oh dear. And yes, apparently it's a big surprise now that Akira is a lady. See? I don't know. I mean, we thought a female version of her earlier. Anyway, that's enough of that, I think. So, this has been Fabs for Armed with Controllers. Please like and subscribe. And, as always, game hard. Good night.